Okay, so this is part 2 of my video response. I did the first one and I ran over to 13 minutes and I couldn't upload it because it was over the MB limit. So I'm going to talk really, really fast and hopefully get my point across. The first question I decided to answer was, what is evidence-based practice? A client might request a type of therapy that is not evidence-based. How can you be accountable to your clients if you do not rely exclusively on using empirically and supported treatments? What might you want to say to your clients if they choose this? EBP is techniques backed by research and clinical experts that also take into account cultural norms and characteristics, behavior characteristics, and things like that of a certain culture. So I think to be accountable to your clients is, one, to be completely open with them from beginning to end, just like you would do in a regular therapy session in an informed consent document, or maybe in that first session just reviewing. These are the things, these are the techniques I use. This is, my theoretical orientation. And if they are strongly suggesting that you use something that you're not comfortable with, maybe you should just tell them the advantages and disadvantages of what you do and how you do it, and why you do things the way you do them. In doing that, they'll be able to make a better decision. If that's something they still want to stick with, I mean, they're the client, so they're kind of the boss. They're paying for a service. So, I would personally try to appease them. But if it's something I absolutely don't believe in, or a technique that I absolutely don't agree with or know nothing about, well, not if it's a technique I don't agree with, I lost my train of thought. Well, wait a minute. Back it up. Skirt. Okay. If it's a technique that I know nothing about, I would just consult with, colleagues, coworkers, and all that type of stuff to try to learn as much research and all that type of stuff to learn as much about the technique as I can. If I still don't feel comfortable with doing it, I think as a last resort, I would just refer them out and just let them know, I'm not familiar with this type of technique that you would like. So, and also just letting them know the risks and the benefits of it so they can make a better decision. What are 3 multicultural considerations that you would take into consideration when considering diagnosis? The sample of the test is the very most important thing I would look at, just because I wouldn't want to give a test assessment to a minority that was based on a higher SES. I wouldn't want to give a test to anyone who's not representative of who it was normed on. That's a very unfair judgment to place on them, that this totally different person from you is going to dictate what's right and wrong about you. So I think that's the very first thing. The second thing is sample test. The sample of the test, who the test was normed on, the SES status of the test. Of course, that's a part of who the test was normed on, but that's very important because SES status is a culture within its own. Gender is also the third most important one. So the third one that I wanted to answer was identify some of the main advantages and disadvantages of the managed care system. For that, I'm looking at my notes at the same time. Sorry. So, disadvantage is just like the client not being in control of the therapy sessions in a managed care, using managed care versus not using managed care. Because not using managed care, the client knows, could go to therapy as long as he or she thinks he or she needs. There's no one dictating when they're going to cut you off. Limited choice of therapists, narrow, like the book talked about, you can only choose from a certain, just like your mental health, your physician, you can only choose from a certain person. You can't just go anywhere you want to. Confidentiality is a disadvantage to both therapist and the client, because as therapists, it's our job to maintain confidentiality, but as a client, we want to feel safe and secure in who we're talking with. Disruption of services, abandonment, and that's both therapist and client disadvantages. Just competence. As a therapist, you have to conform to more solution brief therapy type practices, even if that's not your focus or how you do things. The only advantages I seen or I thought about was for the client is that it's paid for by the insurance. So that's a cost that they don't have to worry about. But at the same time, advantages for the therapist is like guaranteed pay and, you know, being able to maybe charge more for those services. So the best way to serve the client in this type of situation is just being open and honest and upfront with them about everything from the beginning to end, making keeping them included in decision making. Secondly, what I was about to say, I lost my train of thought. I'm trying to hurry up. How can clients be best served? I mean, I guess I know I'm forgetting something that I didn't put in my notes that I said in the last video that really made sense. That was yeah, but I'm just go with that, being open and honest and discussing things with them in front. Oh, also by offering maybe at the beginning just letting them know, hey, your insurance is only going to pay for 5-6 sessions. So let's discuss now. Let me show you what options I have available on how you can continue services after your insurance stops. So that's by being open and honest and making sure you have a alternative plan of how you can continue therapy even if the insurance keeps paying, it stops paying for it. And that's it.